Okay, welcome to the rest of my life. I'm Lance Ash, and now that the time change has come into effect, it's too dark for me to read my card with the list of topics, so I'll have to rely on my memory. Oh my god, I can't even see to fix the mirrors. Okay. But I can remember basically what I wrote down, I think. First of all, what I had on the list was last week I listened to Rod Stewart's 1978 album Blondes Have More Fun, containing his big hit Do You Think I'm Sexy? And I like that song. That's one of the many examples of big established artists dabbling in the disco field. And I have no problem with that. I have no problem with disco. I don't see it as the big controversy that it was 45 years ago. But the rest of that record, there's a couple of songs I like, but for the most part, it's pretty thin on the ground. That's not a right metaphor. It's thin, not thin on the ground. But anyway, what struck me though, listening to it, was somebody, this is 1978, right? Somebody actually wrote this, recorded it, produced it, and put it out there for the public to consume. And it's such a bizarre mishmash of stuff. It's forgotten now, but the other big single off that record was a song called Ain't Love a Bitch. And it's got like background singers doing like doo-wop background vocals. It's very bizarre. And there are little bits here and there of Rod Stewart's up until that point regular trappings. Like, it's forgotten now, but Rod Stewart's big claim to fame in the early days was that he was known for bringing folk music or the trappings of folk music and turning it into rock. He was a big interpreter of Bob Dylan. But he was. That was one of the things he was known for. And there are hints of that, even on this, which was considered his disco album. And anyway, I just can't imagine not only somebody buying that at the time on LP and taking it home all giddy with excitement, what wonders await me on this platter, and sitting down and going, what a satisfying musical experience this has been. And I can't believe, more than that, I can't believe somebody wrote this. And having said that, I don't hate the record. I like the song Blondes Having More Fun, and I like Dirty Weekend, and I like, I don't like it now as much as I used to, but I used to really like Attractive Female Wanted. Dirty Weekend is really sleazy. It contains the memorable lyric, I'm gonna rock you till your pussy's sore. Anyway, that album, though, pretty much marks the end of my involvement with his career. And I'll say at this point, I have about 90% of all of his albums. I remember when Out of Order came out in 87 or 88, 87. And it was, Rolling Stone gave it a great review, and I liked it at the time. I don't think I could listen to it now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else after 78 that I really care for. Okay. Next topic, and this is pretty much going to carry us through the rest of the episode. My friend from New York came down for a visit, and he, my wife, and I all went to the same high school. He and my wife were in the same graduating class. So we all have known each other all these years. He and I used to sit together on the bus and talk and talk and talk. The thing about him is that he's always been a great listener and a great conversationalist. And years ago, after high school, I would see him every 3 to 4 months, maybe every 6 months. And we'd just talk for 2 hours straight. And he always had good ideas about suggestions for stuff you should read or stuff you should listen to. So anyway, he comes down for a visit. Now, the last time he came to visit was January, and we were going to get together, but it didn't work out. Anyway, but this time, we figured out a date to meet. He came over to our house, and a time to meet, and he came over, and we talked for 2 hours. And when he left, I got really emotional because he lives so far away, and we're getting older, and you just don't know if you're ever going to see somebody again. And all you young people out there can say what you want, but staying in touch through digital communications is just not the same as sitting in the same room with an actual human being. I remember, I can't remember the exact quote, but Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing were good friends. And Christopher Lee said something about when Peter Cushing died, it all of a sudden struck him, not only would he never see this person again, but also he would never have that type of friendship with anyone else ever again. Because every friendship is a unique one. Every relationship is a unique one. Because really, whether you want to believe this or not, Mr. Republican, every individual is unique. Because every individual occupies a unique vantage point. So anyway, this is related to that. Last Wednesday, I got my paintings hung up at the show. The first show I've had in about 10 years. And he went to see them, and he really liked them. The first thing he said when he came in the door was, "I just came back from a great art show." And I'm so stupid, I said, "Really? What?" But anyway, I'll tell you, back in high school, he was a big fan of Duran Duran. And through him and this girl I was going out with, I got into Duran Duran. And I still like them today. He's the one that suggested to me that I read Interview with a Vampire. And I tried to read the next one, which was The Vampire Lestat, was that the next one? Oh, I couldn't get into it. I just thought it was... I think another reason I read that book maybe was because Sting had put out that song, Englishman in New York. No, that's not it. Whatever song was on that record, he said it was based on that book. What the hell? Moon Over Bourbon Street. That was the song. Yeah, shit. Oh, I'll tell you something else. I got that photograph done of me standing in the doorway, and I matched it up with the photos of Brian Ferry and Donald Fagen, and it matched up almost perfectly. I didn't get the scale right. I'm too big in proportion to the door, so it doesn't match their pictures quite, but it turned out really, really well. I found just the right door. My wife was driving, and we had a little time to kill before we went and picked up our son. So I said, okay, we're going to go look for a door. So she said, well, we'll go down to this little, sort of industrial area. We'll find some scuffed up door, and just came across the perfect door. I look so mean in the picture. I don't know why my face has just adopted this resting ogre pose, but anyway. The picture hanging went really well. I couldn't believe how easy it was to get this show and how easy it was to just walk in there and hang the pictures up. I'm always nervous about this kind of thing, but I'm gonna try to use this as a springboard into having more shows. I was so nervous about my friend coming over because if you see somebody every day, it's one thing, but if you don't see somebody for like once a year, it's different, and you don't know how things are going to go and all this. I'll tell you something else. Yesterday was a home game for the University of Georgia football team. So downtown was packed all day. But last night I decided I had to get out of the house, so I drove out alone with my camera. I found a parking space, amazingly, downtown, and I walked around. And it's the first time I've been in that sort of environment in a long time. Just a couple thousand people milling around drunk, screaming and hooting, and music blaring out of every bar. And I really didn't get many good shots. I haven't taken pictures. I mean, usually when I walk around and take pictures, it's daylight. But I guess I could have taken pictures of people, but everybody was wearing red and black Georgia-related clothing. It's just, I don't know, not very appealing to me visually. Back when I was drinking, I don't know, that would have been, I would have felt, I don't know. I never, back when I was drinking, I never really drank in bars. Mainly because, the main reason is because I'm so cheap. I'd rather go to a liquor store and buy it for less and then take it and drink alone. And that's the other reason. I don't like the bar atmosphere. I never did. I don't like all that macho posturing and the aggressive attitudes and the loudness, and it's just not my thing. I never could. Will you move your butt? Mr. Domino's delivery man doesn't know what the green light means. Okay, turning now. Okay, there we go. So, I think unless you're intoxicated, blending in with that crowd is just not going to be any fun. Plus, there's COVID to consider. Nobody cares when they're drunk. Oh, I'll say something else. So, right after I took the last photograph that I was going to take and head back to my car, this guy approached me and said, "You taking pictures, man?" "Yeah." "Are you a photographer?" No, he said, "Because I'm a photographer." "What do you do?" And I didn't want to I don't talk to strangers. I don't enjoy striking up a conversation with some random person. So I muttered, "I'm a photographer too," and wandered off. But here's the thing that really intrigued me about the encounter. This guy looked like and sounded like many other people that have randomly approached me, randomly tried to interact with me in settings like that. And I wonder if it's a type. I wonder if it's just if people who, because in my experience, people who look alike tend to act alike. And I'm just wondering, it's this tall, thin, nondescript person with this voice that doesn't really have an accent. It's like a ghost. It's like somebody that could be the walking man without the coldness. And yet at the same time, the supposed friendliness is almost, there's a menace or there's a hidden agenda in there somewhere. I don't know what it is, but every time I've run into this type of person, it throws me off. That's not the only type of person who's wanted to talk to me, but it seems to be a recurring theme. A long time ago, my wife and I were at the DeKalb Farmers Market, and this woman who was, I don't know, it was a black woman. She may have been from Africa, like Northern Africa, or she may have been American. I can't remember what her accent was. But I was looking at some sort of beans or something we don't normally eat, and she was standing there, and I don't know who started. She must have started the conversation, but we started talking about these beans and how you cook them and whatever. And I had no problem talking to her. And afterwards, my wife was like, "That was odd. You don't normally talk to people." And it was odd. Oh my God. So yesterday, I again tried to give Sonic Youth a listen. I just don't get it. I don't get what's supposed to be so great. I don't get what's supposed to be so experimental. I don't get what's supposed to be so interesting. It's just plinka, plinka, plinka. I'm not even singing. Plinka, plinka, plinka. I don't get it. And I have like 8 of their albums and 2 Thurston Moore solo records. Because every time I see one in the thrift store, I'm like, well, $250, might as well give it a shot. You keep giving them chances, and you keep giving them chances, and there's just nothing there. And yet they were at the time so ultra hip. It's kind of like the Smithereens. I must have eight or nine of their records, plus a Pat Denizio solo record. And I don't like them. I just think it's just flat. I wrote a song about it a couple of years ago. I got the Sonic Youth records out because there used to be this magazine called Motor Booty, and they did a little funny, I don't know, mocking article about them, about how hip they are. Alright, we're approaching the end of the episode. I think that's about it. So thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.